Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to another lesson. In this lesson, we are going to learn some vocabulary that you can use when you're writing your IELTS writing task 1. So we are going to learn some IELTS writing task 1 vocabulary. Now, in this lesson, I'm going to explain to you what each of the 28 vocabulary means, and I'm also going to use each of them in a sentence. So if you want to know what the words actually mean and how to use them in a sentence, then keep watching. But before we begin, please help me to help other people by sharing this video on all your social media platforms. Please help me to help anybody who needs the lesson just by sharing the video on your social media platforms. Thank you. Also, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. That will make me know that you appreciate the content of this video and that you would like more videos like this one. So let's begin our lesson. Now, when you're writing your task 1, you're usually expected to write a report, okay? And the report could be based on a bar chart, for example. It could be based on a graph, okay? And this vocabulary is going to help you to explain the data that is provided to you in the chart that you receive. Whether it is a bar chart, whether it is a line graph, whether it is a pie chart, and so forth. Now, let's begin with the first one. The bar chart shows you have many choices. So instead of saying the bar chart shows, you can use the bar chart exhibits. All of these mean the same. Exhibits, demonstrates, elucidates, illustrates, displays, showcases, but compares is different. The bar chart compares, that is different. It does not mean shows, but if you don't want to use the word shows, then you can use all the others. Exhibits, demonstrates, elucidates, showcases, illustrates, displays, any of those. If you want to get a band 9, then don't use shows. Instead, use the others. Now, this is how you can use those words in a sentence. The bar chart exhibits how many children were vaccinated against tuberculosis between 2007 and 2008 in the United States. The bar chart demonstrates how many children were vaccinated between the year 2000 and 2007 in the United States. The pie chart elucidates how many children were vaccinated between the years 2000 and 2008 in the United States. The line diagram showcases how many children were vaccinated against tuberculosis between the years 2014 and 2016. The graph illustrates how many children were vaccinated against tuberculosis between 2007 and 2008. The pie chart displays how many children were vaccinated in different schools between the years 2014 and 2016. Now, when it comes to compares, it means that the data that you have been given is trying to contrast and compare. So this is how you can use compare. The bar chart compares how many adults stopped smoking in two different countries between the years 2014 and 2016. The bar chart compares how many adults stopped smoking in two different countries during the years 2014 and 2016. So that is how you can use those words. Let's move on to number 2. The currency is measured in US dollars. Now this is information that you always put in the first paragraph. The currency is measured in US dollars. The currency is measured in US dollars. Assuming that you have been given a bar chart or a line graph that has something to do with money, okay, then you can include the currency. The currency is measured in US dollars. The currency is measured in sterling pounds. Now, number 3, the units are measured in. The units are measured in. Now, instead of using the currency, if the bar chart or the pie chart or whatever chart you have been provided with, if it's not talking about money, then you can't use currency. So you can't say the currency is measured in, because the diagram has nothing, the data has nothing to do with money or currency. So instead, when you don't have that, you can use the units. The units are measured in. The units are measured in. Okay? So, for example, you can say the units are measured in billions. The units are measured in hundreds. The units are measured in thousands. The units are measured in tens. It just depends on the information that you have been given in the bar chart. So if it has nothing to do with money, then use the third expression. The units are measured in, and usually when you look at the diagram horizontally and vertically, you will find the information, especially horizontally, from top to bottom, you will find what the units are. Now, number 4, overall, in general, okay, overall, in general, okay, this is when you begin to write your task 1, the very first paragraph, okay. You want to give the impression that you're comparing the information that you have been given, okay. So you use overall or in general, okay. Overall and in general mean exactly the same. So you can begin with either overall or in general. Now, for example, you can use that expression in a sentence by saying, overall, the two countries exported the same amount of vaccines. Overall, the two countries exported the same amount of vaccines. Or you can say, in general, Both countries exported the same amount of vaccines. In general, both countries exported the same amount of vaccines. Number 5, a variation in. A variation in. Now, a variation in, it means a change. There is a change in something. There is a variation. Variation means change. Okay? Now, for example, you can use this in a sentence by saying, there is a variation in the number of cars that were exported from the United States compared to those that were exported from the United Kingdom. There is a variation in the number of cars that were exported to the United Kingdom in comparison to those that were exported to the United States. There is a variation in, there is a change in, okay? There is a change in. There is a change in the number of cars that were exported from the United Kingdom to America in the year 1990. So there is a variation in the number of cars that were exported from the United Kingdom in the years 2021. Okay, so a variation in means a change in. Number 6, a fall in, a decline in. Now these two mean exactly the same. There is a fall in, there is a decline in. Okay, that means that it has become less. Whatever it is that you're talking about has become less, has gone from high to low. Okay, there is a fall in. For example, if you bought a car and it cost you, for example, $3,000, and then your auntie bought the same car 2 years after and it cost 1,000 US dollars, for example, then you can say there is a decline in the price of the car. There is a decline in the price of the car. There is a fall in the price of the car. Okay? There is a decline in the price of the car between the year that you bought your car and the year that your auntie bought the same car. There is a fall in the price, meaning that the price has declined. It has gone from high to low. Number 7, a small minority. A small minority, a large minority. Okay, now we tend to use these terms when we are describing things that have to do with population, for example. A small minority, that means a small group, okay? A small minority of the people who live in the slums, okay? A small minority of the people live in slums, okay? A small minority of the people in 2020 lived in slums. Okay, depending on the diagram that you're describing, you can say a small minority of the population lived in the slums. Now, the opposite is a large majority. Okay, if it is not small, then it is large. Minority means few. Majority means many, okay? A large majority. So you can say a small minority of the population lived in the slums in the year 2020. However, the following year, there was a large majority of people who moved from the slums to the capital city. Okay, in the year 2020, there was a small minority of people who lived in the slums, but the following year, there was a large majority of people who moved from the slums to the suburbs, for example. Okay, so a small minority means a small group. A large majority means a large group of people. Okay, minority means few, majority means many. So we always use small with minority and large with majority. Now, let's move on to number 8. The highest, the lowest. These are comparatives. The highest, the lowest. Okay, comparatives and superlatives. We always have to make sure that we use them when you're writing your task 1, because your task 1 is all about comparing the data. So the highest, the lowest. So for example, you can use this in a sentence by saying the highest population in the 2 cities lives in the capital cities. The highest population in the country lives in the capital city. However, the lowest number of people live in the slums. The highest number of people, according to pie chart 1, live in the cities, whereas the lowest number of people live in the slums. Okay, you can say according to diagram 1, the highest number of people live in the capital cities, whereas in pie chart 2, majority of the people live in, or the lowest number of people live in the slums. So the highest, the lowest. Number 9, the most, the least. These two again are opposites, the most and the least. Now you can use, so most means many, least means few. Now you can use this in a sentence while you're writing your task 1 by saying, for example, in the year 2020, most of the cars that were imported from Germany were Audis. On the other hand, the least amount of cars that were imported from the same country in 2020 were Mercedes cars. Okay, so the most and the least. You can also say, for example, according to the first pie chart, most of the people in the United Kingdom prefer to eat fruits, whereas in the United States, majority of the people, or the least amount of people, prefer to eat fast food. Okay, so the most, okay, most of the people prefer to eat fresh vegetables in the United Kingdom, whereas in the United States, the least amount of people prefer to eat fast food. So the most is many, the least is few. Number 10, compare to, in comparison to. Now this one you would use especially when you're comparing the two different charts that you have been given, or for example, when you're comparing the data from one country and the data from the other country, okay? And especially when you're referring to the different years, compared to, in comparison to. For example, you can say, compared to 2020, majority of the people opted to buy car insurance instead of buying health insurance. Okay, compared to 2020, majority of the people opted to buy car insurance instead of health insurance. Now, you can also say, in comparison to 2020, majority of the people decided to buy health insurance instead of car insurance in 2021. Okay, compared to, in comparison to. Number 11, slightly, gradually, steadily, significantly. Now, this is when you're describing whether the data, okay, has gone up or it has gone down, okay. Slightly means there is not much of a change, okay. For example, when you change from 91 to 91.2, then the change is very slight. It is very minimal, okay. Slightly means very minimal. Now, gradually means that it is going up step by step. So let's say, for example, in the year 2020, it was 10%. In the year 2021, okay, it is 21%. In the year 2023, it becomes 22%. So it is going up gradually. It is going up slowly, up and up and up and up, very slowly, okay? It is increasing. It is becoming more as time goes by. That is what we mean by gradually. Slowly going up. Gradually means slowly going up. And steadily means that it is slowly going up without going down at all. Steadily, okay? It is going up, 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 up without going down at all. Significantly means that there is a great change. Let's say, for example, you had 20 million at the beginning, and then in the next stage, you have 70 million. Now you're changing from 20 million to 70 million. That is a significant change. Significant means that it is a big, big change. Okay? Now, how can you use these words in a sentence? Slightly. So you can say that the population changed slightly between the year 2020 and the year 2019. The population changed slightly between the year 2019 and the year 2020. So the population changed slightly. It means that the population did not grow a lot. It was very minimal. Now, gradually, you can say that, for example, the first pie chart shows that the student population of Manchester University has gradually increased over the years. The first pie chart shows that the population of Manchester University has increased gradually. Now, gradually means that it has slowly gone up. Then steadily, you can say that the line graph shows that the student population in Manchester University has increased steadily between the years 2020 and 2021. Okay, it has increased steadily. That means that it has gone up and up and up without going down at all. The line graph just keeps going up. And then significantly means a lot. So you can say, for example, the bar chart shows that there has been a significant increase in the student population from India between the years 2020 and the years 2021. So the student population has increased significantly between the years 2020 and the years 2021. It has increased significantly means that there is a great increment. There is a great increase in the number of students. Now, number 12. On the other hand, now this you would do especially when you're writing your second and third paragraphs. Okay, on the one hand, on the other hand. Okay, so you want to begin by talking about the data of one particular chart, for example, maybe a line graph. Okay, so you begin with on the one hand. This is when you want to really compare and contrast. So let's imagine that you're looking at a line graph and it has different years, and the first years present different data compared to the second half. So you can say on the one hand, the student population in Manchester University has grown drastically in the year 2020, but on the other hand, in the same time period, the student population in Bristol University has decreased significantly. Okay, on the one hand, the student population in Manchester University has increased significantly, whereas in the same time period, the student population in Bristol University has decreased steadily, okay, or significantly. So you use on the one hand and on the other hand when you want to contrast. There is a contrast, okay, when two things are opposite. Okay, on the one hand, majority of the people in the United States prefer to eat fast food, whereas on the other hand, in England, majority of the people prefer to eat fresh food. Okay, now number 14, the price plummeted. The price plummeted, or the price dropped drastically. Now, to plummet, it means to drop. Okay, if you're aiming for band 9, then you should write plummeted. Plummeted really means dropped. To plummet is to drop. Okay, to drop is to go down. And drastically means significantly. Okay, if the price has dropped from €1, okay, let's say for example the original price was $1,000 and in 2 years the price is $50. So it has changed from $1,000 to $20. So the price has plummeted drastically. The price has dropped drastically. The price has changed drastically. Okay, the price has plummeted. It has gone down. it has dropped. Okay? So for example, in a sentence, you can say that in the year 2020, the price of fresh fruits plummeted drastically from 50 euros to 5 euros. Okay? In the year 2020, the price of fresh fruits plummeted or dropped drastically from 50 euro to 1 euro. Okay, that is a very great change in the price. It has gone down, it has plummeted. Now, number 15, with reference to, okay, this is when you want to talk about the different data, the different items that you have been presented with. Let's say, for example, the bar chart that you have been provided with talks about men, talks about women, talks about children. Okay, you have been given the data for children, you have been given the data for men and for women. Then when you're writing about that, then for each one of them you can use with reference to men. Okay, with reference to men. Okay, so when you want to talk about men, or you can say with reference to women or with reference to children. Okay, so for example, you can say with reference to men, it is clear that majority of them stopped smoking between the age of 20 and 30. With reference to men, it is clear that majority of them stopped smoking between the age of 20 and 30. With reference to women, it is clear that majority of them stopped smoking between the age of 40 and 45. Okay? So with reference to means exactly the same as number 16. With regard to. In regard to. You can either say with regard to or in regard to. And that means exactly the same as with reference to. So with regard to teenagers, it is clear that in the year 2020, majority of the boys had stopped smoking. For example, in regard to, okay, in regard to the year 2020, it is clear that majority of the teenage girls had stopped smoking. Okay, for example. So we use with reference to or with regard to when you want to introduce a new item that you want to discuss. Number 17, as opposed to. As opposed to, oppose means the opposite. Okay, so we use as opposed to when you want to talk about the opposite. Okay, when we want to contrast and we want to talk about the opposite side. So for example, I can say, as opposed to girls, majority of, okay, as opposed to girls, majority of boys chose to apply to Bristol University. For example, as opposed to boys, okay, as opposed to boys who chose to apply to go to Manchester University, majority of the girls preferred to go to Bristol University. So as opposed to, so the boys decided to go to Bristol University, but the girls decided to go to Manchester University. So you're looking at the data, and from the data you can see that the boys went, or rather applied to go to Bristol University, but the girls applied to go to Manchester university. So you want to write about that particular information. So you can say, as opposed to the boys who chose to apply to go to Bristol University, all the girls decided to apply to join Manchester University. Okay, so as opposed to is when you want to talk about two different things that are opposite. Now, number 18, doubled. Now, when something has doubled, it means that it is twice as much. Let's say, for example, I give you 20 euro today, and tomorrow I pay you 40 euros. So today I pay you 20 euros and tomorrow I pay you 40 euros. Then you can say that I have doubled your salary. Okay? I have doubled your salary. So double is when something is twice as much. Okay? Doubled means something is twice as much. Now, tripled, it means that it's 3 times more. So double means it is 2 times more, but triple means it is 3 times more. So let's say, for example, today I give you $10 for your pocket money, and tomorrow I give you $30. So I have tripled your pocket money. So you can use this in an expression by saying, in the year 2020, the student population doubled. Okay, the student population in Manchester University doubled compared to the following year when the student population tripled. Now, doubled, it has become twice. Tripled has become 3 times more. Okay, so in the year 2020, the student population in Manchester University doubled, whereas in the year 2021, the student population tripled, so it became 3 times more. Now let's move on to number 19. Okay, a soar in the. Now, a soar simply means a rise in. Okay, a soar in the number of. So, for example, you can say in the year 2020, there is a soar in the total amount of cars that were imported from Germany. In the year 2020, there is a soar in the number of cars that were imported from Germany. A soar means an increase. Okay, a soar means an increase. Now let's move on to number 20. Around, approximately. These two mean exactly the same. Now, if, for example, you have 99.2. Let's say, for example, you scored in your exam 99.2. Then your final score is going to be 99%. So you scored around 99%. You scored approximately 99%. Okay? So instead of saying you scored 99.1%, we say you scored around. We round off the number. We say you scored around 99%. You scored around approximately. You scored approximately 99%. So you can use this in a sentence by saying that, especially because in your writing task 1, you are expected to write the figures and the numbers. Okay, so you can say around 20% of the student population decided to buy new laptops in the year 2020. Around 20% of the student population decided to buy their own laptops in the year 2020. Or you can say approximately 20% of the student population decided to go on strike. Approximately 20% of the student population decided to go on strike. Now, number 21. respectively. Now, respectively means consequently, okay? Respectively means, let's say, for example, you want to write about the figures, and America has 20% and a 20% increase, okay? America has a 20% increase. And the United Kingdom has a 30% increase. So what you can say is that the United States, okay, in the United States, the student population increased by 20%, and in America by 50%. Now, that is one way of saying that. Alternatively, you can say in 2020, in both countries, the population increased by 20% and 30% respectively. Okay, respectively, meaning 20% goes to the first country, that is America, and 30% goes to the United Kingdom. Respectively means the first country has the first percentage and the second country has the second percentage. Okay, so it respectively means the first figure goes to the first country, and the second figure, that is 30%, goes to the second country. So respectively. Okay, now number 22, markedly. Now, markedly means significantly. Okay, the student population improved markedly. Okay, or the student population rose markedly. Markedly means significantly. Okay, it comes from the word, it's noticeable. Okay, it's markedly means noticeably. Okay, markedly means significantly or noticeably. Now, for example, you can say that the student population increased significantly, or there was a marked, okay, increase in the student population, or you can say that the student population increased markedly, okay, that is significantly. Now, abruptly means that it was not expected, okay? Abruptly means that it was not expected. Let's say, for example, you're looking at a line graph and it keeps going up and up and up and up and up, and then it goes down immediately, okay? It was going up and up and up between, all the years, let's say, for example, between 2010 and 2020, it is going up and up and up, and then suddenly it goes all the way down. Then you can say there was an abrupt change, okay? There was an abrupt change in the student population. Abrupt means it was not expected. The student population changed abruptly. Abruptly. So the graph was going from 0 to 20 to 40 to 50 to 60, and then suddenly it went back to 0. Now that is an abrupt change. The increase, the student population changed abruptly. Okay? Now, rapidly means the change happened very fast. Rapidly means it is happening very fast. Okay? So let's say, for example, the students who enrolled to join Oxford University from India in the year 1990 were 5. Okay, and then in the year 1995 you have 50. Okay, and in the year 2020 you have 1,000. Then you can say that the total number of students who joined Oxford University from India has increased rapidly. Rapidly means it has happened very fast. Now, suddenly means it was also not expected. It is abruptly and suddenly mean exactly the same. So you can say, for example, there was a sudden increase in the number of students who joined Oxford University from Iraq from in the year 2020 and the year 2021. Okay, the student population increased suddenly. Okay, from 10 in 1990 to 10,000 in 2020. Now that is a very abrupt. The change between the two figures is very significant. There is a big change. When there is a big change, then we say suddenly. Now, number 23, the total amount of. The total amount of. Now, this is when you want to talk about the data collectively, okay, as a group. So you can say the total amount of goods that were exported from Germany in the year 2020, okay, the total amount of goods that were imported from Germany in 2020 is higher compared to the items that were imported from Sweden. The total amount of cars that were imported from Germany was significantly higher compared to the cars that were imported from Sweden in the same year. Now, number 24, an increase in, a decrease in. An increase means it has gone up. A decrease means it has gone down. So you can say, for example, there is an increase in the number of cars that were imported from Germany in the year 2020. Or you can say, in the year 2020, there was a decrease in the number of cars that were imported from Germany. So an increase means it's gone up. A decrease means it has gone down. And we always use that with in. An increase in. There is an increase in the student population in the years 2020, whereas in the following years, there is a significant decrease in the number of students who were admitted to Oxford University. Okay? Now, 25, dramatically. Dramatically means significantly. Okay? Dramatically means significantly. Markedly. Okay? Let's say, for example, the number of students in Oxford University in the year 1990 was 100. And, for example, 100. And in the year 2020, it was 1 million. Then you can say that the student population in Oxford University has increased dramatically. Okay? Dramatically means significantly, because in the year 1990 it was 500, and in the year 2020 you have 1 million. That is a very big change. So the student population has increased dramatically. Okay? Now, consistently means steadily. Okay? Consistently means steadily or gradually. It is going up and up and up and up and up. It is not going down. Let's say, for example, you're looking at a line graph and it just keeps going up and up and up. Then you can say that the student population has consistently increased between the year 2019 and 2020. The student population has increased consistently between the years 2019 and 2020. So consistently means it has increased steadily. It has kept going up and up and up and up. Now, Substantially means significantly, okay? Substantially means significantly or rapidly, okay? So let's say, for example, you have a student population of 500 today, and by the end of the month, you have a student population of 5,000. Now that is a substantial increase. So you can say the student population between the years 2019 and 2020 has increased substantially. Has increased substantially. Substantially means significantly. Okay? Now 26. Over the 5-year period or duration. Now this one we use a lot when you're describing data within a given time. Let's say within 5 years. Let's say, for example, the bar graph that you have been given starts from the year 2021, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2025. So it's from the year 2021 to the year 2025. So that is a 5-year period. So then you can say that overall, the student population over the 5-year period has increased. Now, period means duration. You can either use period or you can use duration. If you're aiming for a band 9, I would encourage you to use duration. Okay, so you can say that in general, the student population over the 5-year period has increased substantially. Okay. Number 27, a steady decline in the number of. Now, if you remember, I said steady means that gradually, slowly by slowly, okay? Slowly but sure, consistently, steadily. It's just, okay? So a steady decline. A decline it means that it has gone down, okay? A decline means it is a fall. If you remember, I explained in number 6. A decline means it is falling. It is falling down from, let's say, for example, it's gone from 100 and it has reached 10. So it is going down and down and down. Let's say, for example, you are looking at a line graph, and instead of it going up, it's going down and down and down, slowly but surely. So you can say that is a steady decline. So, for example, you can say between the years 2017 and 2020, there was a steady decline in the number of students who applied to join Manchester University from India. In the year, or you can say over the 5-year period, there was a steady decline in the number of students who applied to join Manchester University from India. Okay, so a steady decline means that it is consistently going down. Now, number 28, a consistent fluctuation. A consistent fluctuation. Now, consistent means steady. Okay, so it is going. It remains going up, or going down. Consistent means gradually, steadily. Consistent means steadily, and steadily means that it remains doing exactly that. Now, a fluctuation means that it's going up and down. This happens a lot. You use this a lot, especially when you're describing bar charts, or when you're describing line graphs. It keeps going up and then down and then up, zigzag. Okay, it keeps going up and down, up and down, up and down. Then you can say that there is, in the year 2019, there was a consistent fluctuation in the number of cars that were imported from Germany compared to those from Sweden. So in the, over the 5-year period, there was a consistent fluctuation in the number of Audis that were imported from Germany to the United States. A consistent fluctuation means that it was going up and down, up and down, up and down. And you use this a lot, especially because most of the times, even when you're describing a bar chart, you look at it in the year 20, let's say, for example, in the year 2000, you see that it's 50. And then if you look at the next year, you see that it's 60. And then again, you look at the next year, it's 80. And then you look at the next year, it's 40. And then, so it keeps going up and down, up and down. So you can say that overall, over the 5-year period, there was a consistent, a consistent fluctuation in the number of graduates from United States. In over the 5-year period, there was a fluctuation, a consistent fluctuation in the number of graduates from the United States. A consistent fluctuation. So the whole time it was going up and down, up and down. It was never going up and then down. No, it's up and down, up and down. There you go. So that's how you can use all these words in your writing task 1. I have explained what each of these terms actually mean, and I have used every single one of them in a sentence. Now, if you found this video helpful at all, then please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share the video with anybody else that might benefit from it. Please help me to help as many people in the world as you can, because really my goal is to be able to help everybody, whether they have money to spend on English lessons or not. So please help me to help as many people in the world as possible. It is my way of giving back after many years in the teaching profession. I just want to give back to as many people as possible and bless them with my profession. Now, thank you very much, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. Now, thank you very much, and I shall see you in our next lesson. Bye-bye.